Hey, welcome to the webinar. My name is Nicholas Lal, and my partner Stephen DeGracia is on the line too. And we are representing our brand, Go to Town Marketing. And today we are going to talk about how a broke single father from the Bay Area generated $149,059.35 in 194 days without any inventory. Now, you might be wondering who that broke single father is. Well, he's actually on the line with me. But before we get to that, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. And I know you came here to learn how to make money with this thing that we're promoting called auto fulfillment, but it's important that you know who we are and who you're learning from today, and then we'll get into it. So my name is Nicholas Lal, and I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm the owner of the upcoming blog, Mr. Seed Planter. I am a partner in travelingbeast.com, and I'm a former software engineer. That's what I had done for my career, and that was my trade. And although I was good at my job, I just, didn't like it that much after a while. I loved the people I worked with, but, just didn't like the deadlines and the pressure and everything. And I thought, if I was working this hard for myself, I would probably be making good money. So, on the side, I was building my internet marketing skills, specifically in email marketing. And eventually I had quit my job because I was making enough money where I could stay at home. And over the course of time, after email marketing, I got into what is known as e-commerce. Now, e-commerce has actually been around for a long time. I mean, you go back to eBay and, when you were first allowed to start selling things online, that's e-commerce. But e-commerce has taken a whole different world now where everybody can start their own stores and do a whole bunch of things that we're going to get into. Now, my goals are to help people have their first success online and be able to develop their brand. Now, how do I know today's guest? Well, Stephen and I have been friends for a couple of years now. We met through a Facebook group that was talking about this thing called CPA marketing, how to make money on Bing and Google by doing ads and whatnot. And I noticed Stephen was doing really, really well. So I reached out to him, asked him for some help. He's a wonderful guy. And, he pointed me in the right direction, gave me some helpful tips. And just over the course of time, we just became good friends. We even got a chance to meet and hang out and, do some brainstorming and masterminding. And then we decided that, maybe we should do some work together and see if we can help some people out. So I'm going to bring Stephen on the line. Stephen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Great. So, before we get into the nuts and bolts of this, tell people a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Stephen DeGracia, and as you can see, I was born in Panama, moved to Wyoming, and came to California when I was about 10 years old, and went back and forth. And then about 1998, I stayed here in California. Fast forward, I went to college to learn graphic design and ended up being a IT guy, mostly a Mac guy, for 16 years at the same college. I'm a single father. I have one daughter, and that is my why. This is why I'm doing all this, is to create a future for my daughter.
That's awesome. So, Stephen, you brought up a great point about having a why. Um, what would you say is the most important aspect about why having that is so important to somebody that's running their own business?
Because having a why is what gets you up in the morning, gets you going, keep you going. It motivates you because you want to have a future for your kids, and so that's what keeps you striving away. Because this online thing, it could be, I'm not, it could be tough sometimes. There's times you want to be lazy, you don't want to do nothing, but you got to get up and do it. Even if it's 3 or 4 hours a day. Sometimes it's all day. Sometimes it's 2 days in a row. But you got to keep going. And my why is my daughter.
Yeah, and it's an important thing. And when you get into internet marketing or even multi-level marketing or something, whenever you get to that point where you're trying to work for yourself and pursue your own interest, everybody will tell you have to have a big why. So we understand that there's some people on the call that are younger. They might just be graduating high school. They may have not had their first real job yet. They're excellent students. They understand computers inside and out. but it's very hard for them to develop a why because there's nothing to really base their why on except for maybe materialistic things. It's like I want a new car, and I want to take this great vacation and all this, and those are good things. Those are still whys, but sometimes you have to have an even bigger why. So, Steve, what would you tell somebody that, just say they just graduated high school, and let's just go back to where you used to work at the university, and you know they just mentioned something about, yeah, I can't wait to be able to work for myself, this and that, and then you ask the kid, it's like, well, what type of job experience do you have? And it's like, oh, I've never had a job before. What would you tell that person about their dreams in relation to never having a job before?
Well, let them go out and get a job, and they'll find out real quick if it's right for them. Because they would have to work harder for that. I'm not saying that you're not going to work hard in internet marketing, but you're going to have to work a lot longer hours and a lot harder to pay for your insurance or for that new car, especially in fast food. If you're starting out in fast food, you're going to learn that you're going to find out if you're going to get along with your boss, or do you want to work 6 months to get a whatever you want to get. I mean, with internet marketing, you can work just as hard but get more rewards. You don't have to work 2 weeks to get a $200 paycheck when you can work a few hours a day, or maybe put 5 hours in, and when you get really good at these skills, you can make your $200 in a few hours.
Right. So, young people out there, our advice to you is, if you want to learn internet marketing, that's fine. You have to treat it like a business. And if you haven't had a job yet, I would suggest that, go out there and get a job. At least know what it's like to work for somebody else and have to, take orders and have deadlines and stuff. One of my biggest things was when I worked in corporate America in the banking world, is when you only got 2 weeks off a year. I mean, think about it. There's 52 weeks in a year and you get 2 of them off. And, when I was putting in my vacation time, the boss said, oh, you can't pick that week because somebody else has that week, somebody with more seniority. And I'm sitting there thinking, I worked just as hard as them, if not harder. I produced a lot of sales, but because they got hired before me, they have priority on vacation. And, that was my wake up call. I said, wait a second, we're only here on earth once, so you got to live life the way we want to live it. I hate the idea of somebody telling me that I can't go on a vacation when I want to because somebody else wanted to go. So anyways, long story short about that is, this is why you have to have a why, because if you don't have a why, you'll end up back at that job anyways, and you're going to just repeat the circle over and over again. So, speaking of challenges and things, like, Steve, can you tell us a little bit about the challenges you've had, getting to the point where you started having success and then you were able to eventually leave your job? Where did it all start for you with this pursuit of working for yourself?
Well, January 1st, 2008, I woke up and said, I want to change my life. I want to make money online. Here I am, an IT guy, and I'm thinking, wow, I see all these people doing all this, and why can't I? And back then it was a little bit different. But I started off, when you type how to make money online, it starts you out with surveys. And I started doing surveys, and boy, that sucked. And then I found a mentor that taught me how to do article marketing. And I worked hard. I mean, I stuck with it. Still in the back of my mind, I was like, can I really do this? And I just followed his directions. And you know what? It was weird is it was a PDF. I paid $27 a month to get a PDF. And it gave me instructions on how to post articles online, how to get them written. Because I'm not the one writing the articles. I had paid somebody to do it. And I didn't know anything about keywords and all this stuff you had to put in articles or nothing. So I did all that. And one day, boom, I made $40, like $43 or something like that. And I was like, wow, I was so happy, man. I was just blown away. And that's where it all started. I said, if I can do this on my own and worked hard, I know I can keep doing it. So boom, I go ahead and I keep doing that. And then I got lost into MLM. I thought I can build downlines and stuff. And Man, a lot of years lost there. Didn't do very good in that in the MLM, and then I went back to affiliate marketing for a little bit, and then I found network marketing in 2009 and tried that, and I failed at that.
Well, don't
And,
we all?
oh man, so I mean,
Nah,
I found
I
out.
I shouldn't really say that. We don't all fail, but there's a rule of thumb, and Steve would probably agree with me on here. 90% of the people in network marketing pay their dues, so the other 10% can live their life. Is that about accurate?
Yes, yes, yes. And the lesson I learned from MLM and network marketing is recruiting people is not who I am. That's not what I do, and I hate it. And I thought that I could that's what I wanted to do online, but it's not what I want to do. I just want to make sales and put the money in the bank. That's it.
Definitely. And I mean, nobody's knocking internet marketing because it's a great learning experience. Just like we were talking about for the teenagers, getting your first job, especially in fast food, it's a great learning experience because you learn hard work. You have to learn how to cook. You have to learn how to clean. You have to learn how to clean the bathroom and take out the trash. I mean, it's like the things that you had to do at home. For some of us, that now you're getting paid for it, but you have to show up to work at a certain time and everything. Now with network marketing, it was the ability to make an endless amount of money, but to have to really work and have to build your teams and everything. But with all that said, it's not for everybody, but it is a great learning experience. Would you agree?
Yes, yes. It was a really good learning experience. I made friends, and yeah, it was a
And
great learning
we
experience.
probably wouldn't be here today if we didn't have our internet and marketing experience because it's like, you know, no matter what, we still kept our job. Internet marketing companies came and went, but we kept trying because we knew that it's like these beautiful products and this awesome compensation plan. The only problem was it's like didn't like having to recruit people and beg people to come to meetings or go to my house or go to a hotel meeting. That was my problem with it. Everything else was fine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so in 2015, you stumbled upon CPA marketing. That's where you and I met. So, what happened there? How did you get that success? Do you remember
Well,
exactly what happened?
this is the thing is I remember back in 2008 and 9 I saw CPA and I didn't know how to promote CPA. I'm like, what is this? How do you get people to that offer? I had no idea. So in 2015, I started developing my traffic skills. And I realized that if I want to make things happen for me, I have to learn traffic. So I started learning traffic. I paid some coaches to learn, and I learned it. And I learned very basic stuff. I mean, very basic stuff. And I learned how to drive traffic to offers and make a lot of money. And that's where I started getting my success. Uh, is
Well, can you just explain to everybody just briefly what CPA is?
Yeah, it's cost per action. They're basically, a lot of people probably have seen them. Like, let's say you see an offer for an iPhone. Put your email or your zip code, and you'll get a free something with an iPhone. How to win an iPhone, and then they'll send you some kind of survey or something like that. But you get paid. The companies pay us, the affiliates, to drive traffic to that offer. And once the person puts their email in or their zip code in, you get paid like probably 50 cents to $1.20, something like that. Some offers pay up to $3, but that's how you get paid. And if you send thousands of people to an offer like that, that's where the traffic. You have to learn how to do traffic. You send thousands of people, that company will pay you for those offers,
Okay,
for those emails.
right. Okay, so what are the downsides to CPA, and what was eventually the downfall for you with CPA?
Well, it's just if I wanted to get back into CPA, I could, but the downfall with CPA is this: you have to make sure that you have offers lined up that don't pause, because you could be making a lot of money with CPA and be pounding traffic, just slamming it with a lot of traffic, making a lot of money, and then one day you get an email, the offer is going to pause at 12 midnight. Boom, your income is gone. And if you're not prepared for that, you have to set up other funnels and get a related offer up and going. And it doesn't always work that fast. So then your money's gone. So that's what I didn't like about CPA. And then when other people find out about your offers, then the competition comes in, and then it's really hard to keep up, to keep your income up. that way.
Okay, I understand. So tell us about your transition from CPA to e-commerce. Like, what happened in between that time?
Okay, so when I was doing CPA, the the competition was getting too fierce, so I started losing money. So what I did is I jumped into Shopify, and I didn't really know much about Shopify. All I had was my traffic skills. That's it. And so I just started. I jumped in. I paid somebody to set up my Shopify site real overnight, and I got it going. And I started promoting what everybody else was promoting, and I started making sales. And so as I started learning, I jumped into it and I started learning. And as I was learning, I learned I had to find these drop shippers uh, uh, off of AliExpress and these China vendors. And so I started doing that, and I started selling a lot of things. And what the thing was is you can sell. I had no problem selling products. That wasn't the problem. The problem was getting the product to the customer. And that's the thing, is when they're coming from overseas like that, that's the problem, is getting the product to the customer. I was making $3,000 to $5,000 a day in
Wow.
Shopify, and
Uh-huh.
and I was doing fine, but then I started getting all these emails saying I haven't received my product. I haven't received my product.
Okay, so Shopify is awesome, right? I mean, we both have a bunch of friends that are doing really well in it, but um, it's not a secret that you have to have an investment. You have to have a pretty decent capital. Well, let's put it this way: you have to be willing to risk some money. You cannot go into it with money that you cannot afford to lose, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's to be honest, it can be expensive if you're not ready for this for Shopify. And I'm not knocking down Shopify. Shopify is a great platform. It's not Shopify that's the problem. It's the it's the platform is great. It's just the way you're doing business back and forth across seas. You got to make sure you have a good vendor, and
Right,
plus with all the fees, it comes with a lot of fees. So
right.
you got to have a certain amount of money, a good capital to start Shopify.
Okay, so you obviously dealt with fulfillment problems. They weren't shipping the products at time, or maybe they even were shipping it at time. It got held up at customs. Whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
the customer had to wait an extraordinary amount of time to get their product. Correct,
Correct. Correct.
and then that led to a customer service nightmare.
Yes, yes, it does. And then you wonder why. Why am I online doing this? Is I didn't want to get myself into something like this. And like I said, I'm not uh, you know saying Shopify is a bad thing because there's a lot of successful people doing Shopify. But if
Right.
you're a newbie, you just be prepared. You're going to be spending a lot of money.
Okay, so um, obviously you did really well in Shopify, but it didn't end that great. So then you had a period of a little bit of soul searching there, right, about what to do next.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
I started thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Yeah,
And
I remember we had a conversation about this, right? I mean,
hmm
I couldn't even believe what had happened like within a 30-day period.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all because I had one shipper didn't ship. So
And
anyway,
then he picked the worst month not to ship, right?
yeah, the worst.
Wow. So, yeah, I remember that, we had that conversation, and yeah, you said that, I mean, what are you doing? And I said, at the moment, I'm not doing Shopify either, but I said, I heard about this new thing called GearBubble. You hadn't heard of it. I had barely heard of it. A friend of mine had told me about it. So, if I remember, I just, gave you her link. That's another story for another day. And you had signed up under her referral link, and it's like, well, what do we promote? And at that time, I was selling T-shirts on Shopify. I was selling T-shirts from different TV shows and from politics and stuff. And that's one thing that me and Steve discuss a lot. And then I said, well, why don't you get into what your passions are? Find out what your passions are. Like, if your passion's a sport, if it's politics, if it's a TV show, make things that has an audience, a passionate audience. And that was the game changer, was it not?
Yes, it was. I heard about. Okay, so GearBubble. I heard it in the, I heard it through the grapevine and stuff, but I didn't really pay attention. I didn't know what it was. And then when I looked into it, when you gave me the link, I looked into it, and I said, "Wow!" So basically, it's the same thing, except I don't have to deal with customer service.
Right. So that brings me. Can you explain to people what is auto fulfillment?
Sure, print on demand is basically a company like GearBubble, Viral Style, T-Chip, and Teespring. Basically, they're companies that all you have to do is make a design, put them on a shirt, mug, necklace, whatever products they have, and you sell it. You sell it to the world, and they ship it to the customers themselves. You don't have to deal with any customer service, nothing.
So you're telling me if you do print on demand, you only have two things you have to do: make designs and drive traffic to the designs.
That's it. You don't.
So no dealing with AliExpress vendors, no dealing with people where there's a language barrier. There's no customer service emails. You have to email back customers every night. None of that. No sleepless nights.
Nope. Just you look at your profit, and you just calculate how much you spend, and you're in profit. You did good. Transfer the money into your bank. You're good to go. Rinse and repeat. That's it.
Wow. So auto fulfillment almost sounds like a medication when you can't sleep and you're coughing and you're sneezing, and then you take your NyQuil, and then all of a sudden everything is better again, right?
Yes, and that's what attracted me to print on demand sites like GearBubble, Viral Style, and T-Chip because, um, you know, if you're like me, you just don't want to deal with customer service. It's a nightmare. It can be a nightmare, and a lot of people don't discuss that. Um, a lot of people just throw up a lot of screenshots, big gigantic screenshots, and huge. This is huge, but they never discuss the nightmare of customer service.
Okay, so aside from creating designs and driving traffic, there's a market research aspect here. So how do you go about your market research, or if somebody was to want to learn how to do auto fulfillment, what would you tell them to do to find a good design or find a good niche?
Oh well, you just go look at what other people are running, what other stuff is. You see it on your Facebook all the time when you're scrolling down your feed. You see shirts and this and that, and there's certain ways you can look. You're looking at the likes and shares, and you kind of look at the comments, and you kind of know that this design, this shirt is selling, especially in a niche that you're interested in. And then what you do is you just do your market research. And there's tools out there that you can use, and there's free methods that you can do. And what you do is you just you take that image and you have your designer redesign it. You don't want to copy the design, but you can redesign it the way you want it, and you can make it better and sell the same thing and to the market, and they will buy it. They will buy it.
Right, because if you have seen it and it's on your wall, that means you clicked on something that you like. So that product directly reflects something that you're interested in, or it probably wouldn't even be on your wall anyways. And then the next step, you're saying, look at the likes, look at the shares, look at the comments to see that, hey, people are really interested in this shirt. Mm-hmm. And I know what audience that is. So you're saying, get that shirt concept, find a designer, say, design me something similar to this, not the exact same thing. I think by rule it should be at least 20% different, right?
Yes.
Okay, so make a design that's simple, because you already know it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's a product that's already stood the test of time, right?
Yeah, it's already converting. It's people love it, and I can tell right off the bat if it's converting. Because I've been doing this for a while. But yeah, that's what's the beauty of print on demand is you can just go find. I mean, they're everywhere. It's just not on Facebook. I mean, you can go into stores and you can look at things. Phrases, simple phrases. You can go on Amazon. You can go everywhere. Pinterest, and you can find phrases that been repinned thousands and thousands of times. And you could take that phrase and have your designer, or if you're a designer yourself, you can simply just create it nice, fancy little, you put a font in there and, and test it, test that phrase and get it out there and see if the market loves it. And if it does, you got a hit, man, sell the crap out of it.
Okay, so Steve, tell us what kind of products out there can be auto fulfilled. Not even the ones that are you're doing. What have you seen out there that can be auto fulfilled?
Well, number one is mugs, T-shirts. Uh, let's see, clocks. That you can do clocks. Let's see what else. Hats, beanies, baby products, kids shirts, women's shirts, V-necks. Let's see what else.
One thing I keep seeing on my wall lately are these. They look like printed leggings. Is that what they
Oh,
are?
leggings for women. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those look really popular. They'll have
Shoes.
different team names or different designs.
You could do shoes now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, auto fulfillment became immensely popular originally with Teespring. I mean, I remember years back the first time I saw a Teespring ad, and I wish I would have taken it seriously then. I'm like, what is this Teespring thing? And I clicked on the link, and there's a T-shirt on there, and it says, you know, uh, our goal is like 50 or 100, and I was like, why would 100 people buy this shirt? And then I go check on the link like a couple of days later. It's like, oh, they met their goal. So there's something here. So with Teespring's popularity, many other companies started popping up and launching. And as good as Teespring was, I mean, I think it's safe to say that there are probably as good or better options out there now, right?
Yes, yes. There's Teespring, Viral Style, GearBubble, T-Chip. Those are the ones that I know of. I'm sure there's plenty more. But
Yeah, and then there's a new one for sports, fan print,
oh,
and
fan print, yeah.
yeah, represent. So yeah, there is a lot of competition. When you see competition in a marketplace, you know that something big is happening. If
Mhm.
there is only one company and nobody's competing with them, it's probably nothing to see there. But when you see all these people want to get in on it, then you know, because I mean, you're selling a consumable good, right? I mean, people have to wear clothes. And people like to drink coffee in the morning. So you're selling things that people are like, if I bought this, I'd actually make some use of it. Now, like I said, eventually some companies got more creative than T-shirts, and that's how we stumbled upon GearBubble, because we saw the color changing mugs and the necklaces and stuff. So that's where you have made your mark, Steve, is with GearBubble. So can you tell us a little bit about GearBubble?
Yeah. I started with GearBubble. It was, man, when I when I first started GearBubble, I was like, wow, I didn't realize you can sell mugs and they can auto fulfill and all this stuff. It was great. It was like a dream come true for me after the disaster with Shopify, because I was like, wow, I can still stick with this and don't have to deal with customer service, right? So yeah, GearBubble. When I joined GearBubble, I looked at the products. I said, wow, this is cool. It's Don Wilson is the CEO of GearBubble, and he's a great guy. We talked a few times on Facebook, and he allows us to sell, hoodies, coffee mugs, necklaces, shirts, V-necks. See what else does he have? Leggings now, posters, beanies, hats, and let's see, bracelets, stuff like that. And basically, all you do is just put designs on them and promote them.
Awesome. Well, now I know you guys have heard the name GearBubble now. I don't want you running to the website and starting to sign up, because we have a special link. And with that special link, when you sign up, we'll have a special prize for you at the end. So now, Steve, what exactly have you sold on GearBubble, or at least the most? What's your most successful item?
Mugs, mugs. I say I've sold a lot of mugs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. A lot of mugs. Sold shirts, sold necklaces, but the main thing is mugs because people love their coffee, and if you can get a great design that hits the
Yeah.
heart of people,
And
the
you know
passion.
what else I think about mugs is that sometimes you want to buy a person a gift and you don't know what size shirt they are, and you don't want to buy too big or too small and embarrass them or something. But a mug is a mug, even for people that don't drink coffee. I mean, you could put your pencils in there, or you could drink hot chocolate, or whatever, right?
Yeah, you put your orange juice in there, apple juice, whatever. It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
coffee.
Right, right. And I guess necklaces are popular too.
Necklaces very popular on GearBubble. Yeah, they're a big hit in the family niche, and like the
Right.
daddy daughter niche, and the mother daughter niche, the father son niche, stuff like that.
Okay, so these are circle or square necklaces, and then you just print your design on there, correct?
Yeah, you have a design created, and you can put it in. They even have heart-shaped necklaces, and you can
Oh, wow.
put
Okay, that's
put
pretty
your
neat.
design in there.
Okay, so you know, at this point, I think it's pretty obvious how the two different styles work. But if you could just compare self fulfillment to auto fulfillment.
Okay, so with self fulfillment, is like you have a Shopify site or some kind of e-com site, and you're selling products from your store. When somebody buys from you, then you have to send a shipper, like somebody from China, a CSV file, and they fulfill it, and then they have from China they have to send the product to the customers. That's how that works. So, and you have to deal with the customer service if the product doesn't show up or if it gets damaged. You have to deal with all those complaints.
Right. So even in the case of drop shipping where you don't have an inventory, it's still not really auto fulfillment because you still, like on eBay or Amazon, when your customers email, you still have to answer those emails. So it's not auto fulfillment.
Yeah. Now with print on demand auto fulfillment, all you don't deal with none of that. So basically, you just sell the product, and they deal with the headaches. That's it. They just pay you the commissions. So basically, you can sell thousands of your mugs and just look at the profits come in, and you don't have to deal with the headaches. They
So
deal
let
with
me
it.
let me ask you this, Steve. Do you have to worry about a customer that got a broken mug?
Nope, you don't have
How
to
about
worry
a
about it.
how about a ripped T-shirt?
Nope,
Broken necklace?
nope,
Shoestrings missing from the shoes?
nope.
So you just sell all these things. You pay for your advertising dollars. You make money back from these customers, but you never actually hear from the customers when something goes wrong.
No, they do all the exciting work in the back end. You just
Now, if I remember correctly, GearBubble has a cool feature that when a customer is happy, they can send you a picture with their item. Correct?
yes, they send them emails out for you. And one thing about GearBubble is when uh, yeah, they send emails out for you promoting more of your stuff. They have your stuff retargeted, and they send emails saying, "Hey, if you received your product, please upload a picture," and then you can use that as social proof, saying, "Hey, my customer received this," and you can put that on your fan page.
Right, because nothing beats an actual customer wearing a shirt rather than just something on a website that's a digital rendering, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, then you can use that as proof. Hey, my customers are happy, and believe me, um, you don't have to dealing with not dealing if you're it's a great feeling when you don't have to deal with mad customers.
Right. Now, you don't have to have a lot of money to start with Gear Bubble, so but I want to get into Steve's story because it's just such an amazing story that it needs to be told. Now, this is the story of the loan. So what happened was after Steve signed up for a Gear Bubble, he's like, well, I lost so much money in Shopify that I'm afraid to put any more money in because I still have to take care of my daughter and still have to pay the bills and stuff. So Steve had asked me, do you know where you can get a loan from? Now I'm not really good at that type of stuff, but I knew that somebody had told me that Discover is looking for business because they have to compete with Visa, they have to compete with Mastercard. So you still have to do good. You still have to have good credit. But Discover is very friendly into getting your business, and they were able to give Steve a loan of $15,000. Now, me and Steve both knew that it's like if he blew through this money, that's it. That would have kept you at work forever, right, Steve?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would have been it. But Steve worked his butt off. I mean, I only did two good things. I said Gear Bubble and Discover. The rest was all Steve, and he worked day and night. I mean, there was times where I would go to sleep and he was online. I'd wake up the next morning and he was still online, and I knew that he was really passionate about making this work. Like this was it. I've tried everything in internet marketing and this and that. This has to work. And he studied different markets and different T-shirts out there that were trending and mugs, and he finally fell into a winner, and that winner took him from $15,000 to $149,000 in less than 190 days. And This was a while ago. Steve, what is your GearBubble account at today?
500 something thousand.
500 something thousand.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you join us in our group, all the social proof is there, all the screenshots, and sometimes Steve will share one of his designs, and really wants to help people out there get their business going. So I know at the peak of when Steve was really running big numbers, $2,000 a day. I mean, like clockwork. Every time he'd show me screenshots of his account. It was just growing and growing. So, you know, he has optimized his Facebook ads pixel. Now that's a whole different story. Now, Steve, can you briefly explain to people how Facebook ads platform works and what is a pixel?
Yeah, Facebook ad platform. Everybody has one in their Facebook. If you didn't know, it's there, and basically it helps you run ads on. It allows you to run ads on fan pages. You create an ad, you run ads, and you can target certain niches. And Facebook makes it really easy for you to target niches. Like if you want to get into the dog niche or the cat niche, any type of niche you want, you can target those people that are very passionate about it, and they'll see it on their feed. Like when you're scrolling down your feed on your phone, you see shirts and everything because somebody's targeting you, and they want to sell you a shirt. So you'll be one of those people. So basically, uh, not to get into too technically, but uh, my pixels on Facebook need to be optimized. They need to be marinated. I guess you can say. And I ran my pixels very marinated. I marinated that pixel for what, close to a year, and
Right.
so it's what my niche. So if I run something in my niche, boom, it doesn't take time to figure it out, and it will start converting the product, and I'll start seeing, view contents and add to carts, and then eventually purchases.
Okay, so in other words, when you buy traffic and you're promoting to your ad, if nobody buys, you're still actually getting something, right? And what are you getting?
Oh, well, you're getting data.
Right,
You're
and
collecting.
that data is going on your pixel, correct?
Yes, the pixel collects the data, and which allows you later to create lookalike audiences, which is the
Right,
ultimate goal, is to
right.
create that lookalike.
And it also lets you know which one of your demographics is working and not working, so you can eliminate the bad ones and focus on the good ones. So you could, I guess, maximize your dollar.
Yes, yes.
So I want people to understand how powerful Facebook ads is because they're pretty much a data collection service.
Yeah,
So
so basically, when you're running data, you're buying the data. So when you're starting, like say in the dog niche or the cat niche or any niche you want to be in, you are you put in the demographics, which will teach you all this real simple stuff. You put in the demographics and everything like that, and then you run your ad. And so you're the one creating this data, and Facebook holds that data in the pixel. So when you start getting conversion, view content, and add to cart, and then purchase events, Facebook collects that, and then eventually you can create an audience called a custom audience. And then when you create that audience, then you can create lookalike audiences, and that's where the power happens. But that
right,
is later. I don't want to confuse people into
right.
all
So
that
I mean,
stuff.
people don't have to start with a $15,000 loan, right? It's just something you felt you had to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to start that. I just knew that if I want to run big numbers, then I would have to have some capital.
And you had been looking to, get out of your job for quite a while. So the passion, the desire, the why was already built in where you're like, I'm doing this. But for somebody that's maybe somebody that has a job that wants some extra money, maybe a stay-at-home mom, maybe a single mother, maybe somebody that just wants to make some extra money for the Girl Scouts or their baseball team or something, they don't have to start with that much, right?
No, no, not at all. No, you can. When I got this loan, I started with $5 ads. I just knew I
Right,
had a lot of capital to spend, and I just started with $5 ads, and I worked my way up,
right.
from $5 to 10 to 15. That's how I did it.
Okay, so this obviously worked out well for you. Um, Steve is, he will even tell you he's just your average guy with above average dreams and goals. And a lot of people are like that. It's just a matter of, are you willing to chase those goals or just think about them? Now, he had a secure job, but not somewhere he wanted to be daily. Now, do you feel like that? Is there people out there who feel like, it's like this job is secure, it's okay, but I mean, the reality is, Steve, and you could attest to this, as we get older and newer people come into the workforce that are willing to work for less, what does that do to us?
Obsolete.
Yep. That's what's happened. It's just like technology, right?
Yep.
I mean, you don't see anybody with a cassette player anymore, right? Because it went obsolete.
Yep. Yep. I know people now to this day, my ex coworkers, they want to do what I want to do, and so I'm gonna I'm gonna help them out, of course, but they got a secure job too. Are they happy? No, no, they're not. I hear it all the time, and I'm sure there's millions of people out there, that are not happy with their job. And
Yeah.
all I say to people is, you just got to learn a skill. And this is what I tell my coworkers when I was working there. You got to learn a skill. Learn a new skill, something that will, pay the bills. And I mean, you could learn this skill. And the cool thing about this is that your traffic runs all day.
Right.
You're making money all day. You're not sitting in a chair and then you got a set salary and that's it. No, you're making money all day. Those sales are coming in. Boom, boom,
So you could
boom.
literally make money while you sleep. It's not just something people say.
Oh man, many times I've woken up and there, about 7, 9 o'clock, I'm already have like 3 grand in sales.
Wow.
Many times. I mean, even more than that. I mean, even 500, 200 is good. Is great. When you're sleeping, your traffic is rolling.
Yeah. So, we're getting close to that 45-minute mark, which is, how long I had told people that this would last. So we're just about there. So, what I want to tell people is, how would you actually like to work with somebody like Steven and myself and get your auto fulfillment business rolling? We're not millionaires. There's nothing special about us in relation to us being better than anybody. You sitting there at home could potentially be smarter than us and have more skills than us. The only difference is you haven't been exposed to something like this before, right? And once you're exposed to something and you put in the time and effort, you can do exactly what Steve has done. So, this is what I want you all to do. If there's people out there that are like, I would not mind having a side business where I just need to, come up with some, cool designs where, before we even get to that, Steve, where do you get your designs from? How do you find a designer?
Well, there's a lot of ways. I have my own personal designer. I pay him on salary, so he's always on call for me. But you can get designers everywhere. You can get them from Fiverr. You can get them from Upwork. You can get them everywhere. If you're your own designer, man, more power to you. Create your own designs. But there are easy ways. You don't have to make spectacular designs. You could be text. Just text. And there's free software out there that you can put a fancy text design on a mug, and it could sell you hundreds and hundreds. Those people do it all the time.
And that is so true because I've seen people that make these beautiful, beautiful designs. Maybe it's like anime. And for any of those that don't know what anime is, Dragon Balls, Pokemon, Japanese cartoons, very intrinsic, beautiful prints, and they barely have any likes or things. And then I've actually seen Steve make a shirt that just has a saying on it, like in plain text, and it goes crazy. I mean, it just sale after sale after
Yep.
sale. So some people think that you have to do too much. No, sometimes less is more. Some people are just looking for a cute saying that they could wear on their shirt, and people are like, that's pretty funny. That ain't that the truth. But then you have these people that have these beautiful prints, and then nobody knows what to even talk about. They don't know where it came from or what it is. A lot of people like to buy things that's a conversation piece, and that's what you got to focus on. You got to focus on your passions, and I shouldn't even say that. You don't want to focus on your passions. You want to focus on what your customers' passions are. So, anyways, so this is what you need to do. I want you to go to this link. Go to townmarketing.com/survey, and on there there'll be a survey with a lot of questions, and we want you to fill out everything to the best of your ability and submit it. And if we feel you would be a good match to work with us, one of us will call you back with further details on a coaching package, and we'll do a one-on-one either on the phone or on Skype. And don't forget to claim your free gift. So what we want you to do is go to townmarketing.com/GearBubble. That's the first platform we want you to work on for various reasons. It's the one we've had the most success on. Not to say we wouldn't have more success on other platforms. It's because it's just the first one we started with, so we have an affinity to them. And Steve knows the owner, and he's a really great guy. He takes care. Um, Steve, what can you say about Don as far as him taking care of his company and his vendors?
One thing about Don is he's in the group. He takes care of his people that his affiliates. When you have a question, man, boom, he has people on it. But then he even responds to the post, and he's always adding new things to GearBubble and everything. He's on top of it. A lot of CEOs are not like that. I haven't seen a lot, but I see Don all over the place, and he's working customer service and everything. So I mean, it's great. It's great. So a lot of good things.
Awesome. So, like I said, all the companies are good. We know the viral style guys; they're awesome. Recently, we were starting to work with T-Chip. Just spoke to FanPrint's rep today. They are amazing. They're here in Dallas too, so it'd be good for me to actually go see their company and work with their people directly. So you can't go wrong. It's just a matter of preference. And Steve made his first $500,000 in sales with GearBubble, so it makes sense to start there for you all. So after that, go to town marketing slash face FB group, and that'll redirect you to our Facebook group. Just click join now, and one of us will approve you and let you into the group. Steve, is there anything you want to say in closing to those people that have just listened to the webinar? Obviously, it might have been information overload for those that have never heard anything like this. So what would you say to those people?
I would say, you know, if you want things to change in your life, you have to make things happen. You can't just sit there and just think about it. You gotta change it. And the way to do that is learn a skill. Learn some basic skills and then move up from there. That's if you're sick and tired of just sitting in that chair or your job or listening to that boss or just sick and tired of your job, your dead end job, then give it a shot. I know how you feel. I'm no, I'm just a regular dude, man. Me and Nick are just regular guys here, just wanting to take our knowledge and teach other people. Because I
Right.
know for a fact, coming from the IT world, I worked for a college, and there are so many people that are that are looking for ways to make money. They don't even know this exists. I see people in the graphic design area, doing this. And when I mention auto fulfillment or print on demand, stuff like this, they don't even know that this exists. That they could put their own ideas on a shirt. So, yeah, if you have ideas, man, make it happen. Learn a skill.
Yep, and it's amazing how much opportunities there are in the internet. I mean, there's still things that baffle me today that I've been around for a little while now, and there's still things that come out and I'm like, wow, are you kidding me? And then these new phone apps and everything, and the technology is so amazing that you can't be scared of it. Eventually you have to step in and give it a go, because you don't want to live life with regrets. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that webinar a few years ago about GearBubble, and then you find out a friend of yours joined with us and they're making thousands of dollars a month, and you're there thinking, oh my gosh, I watched the webinar way before they did and I didn't jump on it. You don't want to have those feelings. So if your gut instinct tells you that I want to give this a try, then fill out that survey. And if you don't have time for it, and obviously everything requires some sort of investment. There's an investment into our time to teach. There's an investment into your time to advertise your products and pay for your designer and stuff. So you have to think of it like a small business. The best part is, though, you don't have rent, You don't have employees that might not show up to work. If for some reason your designer is sick, it's not that hard to get another designer. There are some talented people out there, and they are just hungry for work, and they will do whatever they can to make you a happy person, because they want your business, they want your repeat business. So I don't have much more to say. Add yourself to the group if you have any other questions. We're in and out of there every day, and we try to answer everybody's question as best as we can. So I hope you all learned something new, and I hope to see you in the group. And Steve, any final words?
No, that's it, man. That's it. I hope to see people coming into the group.
And what do you want them to do?
Oh, well, I want them to click that survey. Go to townmarketing.com/survey and fill out the form.
But what do you want them to do once they start making money?
I want them to go to town.
That's right. Peace.